afternoon. I am Amy Henley, and I am proud to say that I am the Dean of the newly named Nistler College of Business and Public Administration. On behalf of the Nistler College, I am thrilled to welcome you to this historic celebration as we honor Werner and Colleen Nistler and the exciting future for our Nistler College. As you may have heard last week, the State Board of Higher Education approved our new name in honor of Werner and Colleen, who have generously stepped forward to be the lead donors in a new College of Business and Public Administration building. Thank you. Our campus is so excited to celebrate this transformational gift and provide you all the opportunity today to learn more about the Nistlers and their inspirational story. Werner and Colleen have built a successful business based upon ethic, excellence, teamwork, hospitality, integrity, and compassion. These core values are critical for our college, and we are proud to bear the name of these transformational leaders. What better example for all of our students than a lifetime built upon a foundation of ethics? At this time, I would like to invite Provost Tom DiLorenzo to share a few remarks on the impact of this gift to our university.
Welcome. President Wynn sends his greetings and is sorry that he's not able to be here today. I'm delighted to participate in such a wonderful event. I'd like to thank Dean Amy Henley for all of her hard work and dedication in helping drive the College of Business and Public Administration into the future. And this future is indeed bright, especially given the reason we are here today. The University of North Dakota is going through a bit of a renaissance, and the Werner and Colleen Nistler College of Business and Public Administration will be the cornerstone for our launch into the uncharted territory that higher education will become during the next 50 years. Some statistics estimate that as many as 85% of today's children will be employed in jobs that have yet to be created. I am sure that the Nistlers would say that the amazing work that they are doing now was not even a passing thought when they started their careers. But their education prepared them for an uncertain future. And this building and the transformation of the college will poise our students for an exciting future as well. I would like to thank Werner and Colleen for investing in our students. Yes, I see their generous donation as an investment, and it will be up to all of us to create a significant return on this investment by preparing our students for the future. The new building will provide a space for our leaders to excel and make strong connections within our local and global communities, providing for an experience that enhances our recruitment efforts, bolstering our retention rates, and furthering our legacy. The building will be at the epicenter of our transformation on campus, with walkways connecting the Nistler College to Merrifield Hall and the Chester Fritz Library. It will also serve as a connection point for students to meet with local and global businesses and alumni as we aim to increase our overall internship rate from 40% to 75%. Using state-of-the-art technology will allow classes both online and on campus to work in real time with students and faculty all over the world. Online interview rooms will prepare students for real job interviews. These opportunities and all future possibilities for the utilization of this space, combined with the incredible architecture, which will be highly visible from University Avenue, will highlight what UND has to offer future students and will help them to envision themselves as the leaders in action that they will become. Werner and Colleen, I literally get goosebumps each time I think of your generosity and the message that that sends to our students and the community about your commitment to education and the future growth of our students. Please know that you are truly making a difference, and we are eternally grateful. One more thank you is in order. I'd like to thank our legislators who support higher education in words and funding. This building would not be possible without their efforts as well. And now I'd like to introduce true friends of the University of North Dakota who have their own legacies as wonderful educators, Senator Ray Holmberg and Representative Mark Sanford.
Thank you very much. There are three words that I thought of when I drove over here today. They were gratitude, challenge, and excitement. You've heard about the new building that's going to be coming online in the near future, and the gratitude that personally from the state legislature and personally from the students of North Dakota, University of North Dakota, and the future students of the generous gift that was given to help move this project along. Legislatively, it came kind of late in the session, and there was some scrambling, but at the end of the day, when you had a good message and you had a perfect timing, though, when it came to how everything came together in the legislature, it was good. The second word was challenge. The Nistlers, because of their generosity, are giving a challenge to not only to the state legislature, but also to other generous alum and donors for the University of North Dakota to invest in the future of the students of the University of North Dakota. And finally, excitement. Excitement that this is actually going to happen. It was a pipe dream that many said would never happen, but it is happening and is going to happen. And it's exciting not only for the University of North Dakota, but also for me personally, because 55 years ago next week, I spoke at the dedication of another building on the campus of the University of North Dakota when we opened Squires Hall. I was on the program. I looked over the program today. There weren't a lot of folks who were on the program at that time that are here today. But I do look at it this way. That was kind of a bookend for me to be able to come to the university, my alma mater, and have a celebration. And now we're having this celebration, and I look forward 55 years from now to be here giving dedications of new buildings at the university. Although that is kind of an aspirational goal. Thank you very much, Nistlers, and thank you, all of you, who are here today to celebrate this wonderful occasion.
Well, Mr. Nistler and I were comparing notes, and I recall that Watford City used to beat Beach all the time, and he said that's not the truth, that it was the other way around. I would also want to add my thank you to you folks. This is very significant. Obviously, it directly affects UND, but I want you to know that in North Dakota, this extends beyond UND. This is system-wide, the impact of this gift. And I'll explain. So it's the end of March, 1st of April, and legislators are tired and looking for a little R&R, and we've got this bonding bill that comes up. And it has a couple projects on it, the traditional thing. 2 projects, go home, 48 not done. And so in the hearing for the bonding bill, we didn't get our R&R. We got a little D&D, Deanna and the Dean. And, and they did a beautiful job of explaining this project. It was absolutely a wonderful, wonderful presentation. And the halls were abuzz for about a week afterwards. What does it mean? What can we do? And pretty soon you saw Bismarck State come up and say, we got a nursing building and we have a need. And we could use this model. We could use this model and make it happen. And then we heard from Lake Region. Precision Ag is in an old Quonset. We could get this Precision Ag on campus. We could use this model. And the one that really warms my heart is Botano, the smallest of the institutions. And they came in for a science building. So at the end of the day, we didn't have 2 projects. We had about 9. And they're all based on this particular model. And it really turned out to be one of those sessions where we actually got ahead of deferred maintenance. We actually made progress on all of these things that are challenges for higher ed. So I would just say thank you again. This is an impact that goes way beyond UND. It's a North Dakota gift. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to invite to the stage 2 of our exceptional students to share a few words of gratitude. Caleb DeShock is the student representative on the State Board of Higher Education and a Nistler College marketing major. Gracie Leon is the UND student body president and a political science major. Please welcome Gracie and Caleb.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank, first off, the Alumni Foundation for giving students the opportunity to speak at such a great event. It really shows that there's a commitment to students and to the perspective that we can provide to this institution. Across the state of North Dakota, alumni are giving back to higher education, and that's clearly seen here at UND. The Nistlers are empowering the next generations of students to reach higher and learn smarter than ever before. We're going to have modern technology, state-of-the-art classrooms, improved student amenities that allow students a greater chance of success in their educational experience. This won't just impact Grand Forks, and it won't just impact UND. This experience, this opportunity, is going to resonate in the small towns in western North Dakota like Beach and Dickinson. It'll resonate in the cities in Minnesota, and we'll see it across the nation as the next generation of students learn in a brand new state-of-the-art facility thanks to the Nistlers' generosity. So I want to take an opportunity to thank the Nistlers for the next generation of students and the opportunities that they've been granted. Thank you.
So if anyone knows Caleb, you know that he could talk about the technological side of something for hours without getting him to shut up. If you say the word esports, you're not getting out of the conversation anytime soon. But I would like to really focus on how this building is going to impact students in a different way. This building is going to, and the donation that has been made by the Nistlers, is going to inspire students. It shows that UND prepares its students for the professional world. Today at the student event that we had earlier, I know that these students were standing there thinking about how someday this could be them when looking at the Nistlers and at the changes that they have made in the world and the impact they're going to be making on students right here at UND. So it's recognition that UND prepares people like Werner Nistler for the greater world around us. Werner and Colleen truly embody the leader in actions motto that UND really likes to focus on. They embody giving back to the community, and they embody inspiring their students. We have a lot to learn from them. Every time I've spoken to someone about this couple, they use the same word, and it's humility. Werner came from a small community in North Dakota, humble beginnings, and today he's here giving back to his alma mater, $20 million to impact the students of the future. And so alumni like them are a great part of the reason that UND has been so successful and why students have so many great experiences here today and why students will continue to have great experiences here in the future. And so I would also like to present them today. On Wednesday, we had our Student Senate meeting where our senators passed a resolution formally thanking the Nistler family for their commitment to UND through their generous contribution. So thank you for all that you have done. It's signed and everything, it's official. We are so thankful to have you here on campus, and we look forward to seeing more of you on campus. Thank you again.
Thank you, Gracie, and all the students. How cool was that? Oh man, I've been doing this for a long time, and this is an emotional day. It is. I am Deanna Carlson-Zink, CEO of the UND Alumni Association and Foundation. And Gracie, Caleb, all the students, thank you for being here. Thank you for your inspiring words. So I'm sure many of you have been wondering just who these people are. Who are the Nistlers? Who are we naming our college after? And I gotta say, it's my college. 37 years ago, I walked on this campus and into Gamble Hall for the first time. This is my college, it's so cool. Well, let me assure you that Werner and Colleen are two of the brightest and most compassionate people I've had the pleasure of meeting in my 30+ years with the UND Alumni Association and Foundation. Werner earned an accounting degree from UND in 1968. He is founder and chairman, and Colleen is vice chairperson of Touchmark, which owns 14 full-service senior living communities in 10 states and 1 Canadian province. This includes the Touchmark communities in Bismarck and in Fargo. As I've come to know Werner and Colleen better over this last couple of years, I've been struck by their laser focus that they bring to their business interests. But on top of that is their thoughtful and compassionate nature towards their clients, their employees, their business partners, and those of us from the University of North Dakota who have come into their lives. Their philanthropic spirit is absolutely inspiring, and I don't even think that word comes close. Werner and Colleen's gift to UND is going to change lives for decades to come in a new home for our business and public administration students. A new home that will bear their name and carry on their legacy of ethical and dynamic business practices. I want all of you to have a better sense of who the Nistlers are and why we are so delighted to have their name now associated with this college. Please direct your attention to the video screens.
I grew up in a small little town in southwestern North Dakota, outside of Galva. It was a prairie farm. I went to a grade school, Berkey Grade School, where all 8 grades were in one room. And then there were 9 siblings with my parents. We had this small farmhouse out in the middle of the prairie. And then when I was about 13 years old, in the middle of the 8th grade, my parents moved to Beach. But working on the farm, we continued to have a farm even during high school. And as I've always said, I feel as though I earned a doctorate in common sense out there on the farm, because you really had to know so many things about so many different areas of work and farming and the animals and everything. The UND is where it all started. It started from the viewpoint of just being around more people, being around a group of great professors. They all taught me a lot about accounting. They taught me a lot about life. And so that was the years that you're now away from your parents. And so that is where it all started, was at the University of North Dakota, and that basically launched the career that I ended up with. The main objective, the bedrock of everything is our mission. Our mission is to enrich people's lives. And it's not just the lives of our residents, it's not just the lives of our personnel, our team members, but also the lives of the families who are with these residents and having mom and dad help them transition into their later years. And so enriching lives and always trying to make life better for one, that's our mission, and I think then the values fall under that and the gold standards fall under that, but the Enriching Life's mission is where it all starts. And then in 1987, the lady who was our controller was leaving to start a family, and we needed a new controller. And so Colleen applies for the job, and gosh, I had realized when I saw her resume that she had just passed all 4 parts of the CPA exam, and it took me 4 times to pass it. She passed it in the first part, and all in one time, and I thought, wow, this lady must be really smart. So we hired her, and then later we became husband and wife, and then had 6 wonderful children.
What's impressed me so much about Werner and Colleen is how truly thoughtful they are. My father used to have a saying that most people aren't thoughtless, they're just not thoughtful. And I now understand what he meant by that. When you meet people like Werner and Colleen and how their attention to detail and how thoughtful they are of other people's time, whether that be their customers, their residents, whether that be folks from UND when we visited them, or whether it's their employees that they truly rally around. Their thoughtfulness that's exhibited in their character has been truly impressive.
It's this coming out of humble roots that are truly extraordinary in terms of the character, the work ethic, the values, the aspirations, the commitment to other people and to society. And all of that's embodied in the Nistler name. So I couldn't be more proud to have that name for our college in perpetuity, because it will inspire us to maintain that culture and that quest for excellence and belief that our students can accomplish that.
I've always liked George Bernard Shaw, and his comment is that one's life belongs to the entire community. And so I like that comment really quite well, is how we can serve the whole community with what we're able to provide to, in this case, the university.
At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome Werner and Colleen Nistler to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, what a wonderful reception. And all the people in the band and the students who are here, I'm just overwhelmed and so grateful and so thankful. On behalf of Colleen and myself, we're in a wonderful place, and we're very grateful to all of you who helped and make this event happen. So I hope you can hear me okay. I've been told that my voice is a bit soft, and maybe it's because after having 6 children, and knowing how each one of them are so independent, and so they communicate exactly what they're thinking. It kind of puts me in a back seat a little bit, so I haven't been able to be as forceful in my words as I was earlier in my life. But I do want to make a comment here with regard to Mark Sanford made a statement about Watford City. And of course, playing football at Watford City is a nightmare. What Watford City would do, and I think it was really intentional, is that the Watford City football field was down in a little ravine. And of course, it would snow all winter long, and then it would melt in the springtime. Then in the summertime, that field would bake, and it became extremely hard. And we played football there. It was like playing football on a concrete street. And he said, we won more, and I don't think so. The pains in my knees and my body can still feel those tackles and things like that. The other comment I'd like to make about an individual here in the audience is Rodney Medallion. Would you please stand, Rodney? Where are you? There he is. Thank you, Rodney. So I have him to blame for all of this. He had completed his educational degree down at Mayville State College, and this is before I think it was a university. And he came here to the University of North Dakota to get his graduate degree in accounting. And so it's my sophomore year. Mr. Koulis is teaching municipal accounting. And just to the right of me, with my name Nistler, his name Medallion, he's sitting right next to me. And we've became friends then in school, and he told me, yes, he's working on a graduate degree. So to tell you the quick steady this man is, he is sitting side by side with me in municipal accounting. The next year, he's teaching me intermediate accounting. So Rodney, you've been just a wonderful professor, a wonderful friend, and as I say, it all started with you. As you know, and when you bring forth a company and you start out in your careers, then if you want to go fast, you do it yourself. If you want to go far, you go with a group of people. You form a team, and the team pulls ahead and makes this all happen. As you know, the letters in team is together everyone accomplishes more. And so the team of people that have been brought forth in Touchmark started, yes, with Colleen and her saying that she, one, would come to work for us, and number two, that she would marry me. So I had really two great things going there. But prior to that is my brother Steve, who's sitting here. And Steve, wave at the audience, if you would, please. There you go. And I'll digress for just a second. Steve and myself and another brother, Charles, who unfortunately passed away about 10 years ago, all three of us obtained our CPA certificate because of the University of North Dakota. So we're all North Dakota CPAs. And so Steve followed in my footsteps to some extent. When I started at Arthur Anderson in Portland, him being 10 years younger than me, he attended school here, passed the exam, started working in Grand Forks, started working in Portland for Arthur Anderson, and shortly thereafter, he helped me start Touchmark. And to tell you a little bit about the name Touchmark, Touchmark is a name that stands for the brands that were created out of pewter from the 18th and 19th century in England. Is that if you think about a brand going on a shirt or anything like that, they had these pewter brands that would be stamps of these master pewterers that would go on their particular products. So after about 5 years of running
a different entity that I named originally Transamerica Living Centers. Now I'm thinking big time, okay? I'm not thinking of onesies and twosies. I'm looking at trying to create an opportunity across the country to build retirement housing. And so I came up with the name Transamerica Living Centers. About 5 years into that name, I was down in San Francisco visiting with a party and trying to buy a property down there in that area. And the attorneys who were representing the other party told their buddies of the name Transamerica, and their buddies were attorneys for Transamerica Title Company in downtown San Francisco. So you can imagine the Transamerica Tower in downtown San Francisco, if you may remember seeing that iconic building. It's about 40 stories high and it has a nice steeple on the very top. And so I get back to the Portland office, and within a short time, I received this nasty letter from Transamerica Realty. You best change your name or we're coming after you. And so of course, I looked in my wallet and I could see maybe $1 or $2 in it. And I realized that they had much deeper pockets than me. And so I walked down the hall there at their offices in Portland and walked to Steve's office. I said, Steve, we've got to change our name. What do we have for a new name? And I don't know if he had thought of this name before or whatever, but just as quick as the words came out of my mouth, he said, well, how about the name Touchmark? And so then from that name then, as we changed the name from Transamerica to Touchmark, and so it was 1980 when I formed Transamerica / Touchmark, and here it is 39 years later that we're doing well. So earlier I mentioned the comment, if you want to go fast, do it alone. If you want to go far, do it with a team, with a group. So as I was traveled back here to the university to visit my brother Steve and my brother Charlie, I was working, of course, in Portland, and I think guess maybe I'd started Touchmark about that time, maybe a little later than that. But as I stopped in, we'd always play basketball. We played basketball out here at McVeigh and Brannon, and there was a court out there. And the first time I met Tom Beal, who my brother introduced me to, was on a basketball court. So Tom, would you wave your hand here, please? So I interviewed Tom in Minneapolis. He had graduated here from the university in mechanical engineering, and then I interviewed him there in Minneapolis, and so he started working with us in 1983. And so after all these years of working with Touchmark, he just recently retired. He opened a project for us in Bend, then he opened a project for us in Prescott. And so he's just been a wonderful friend, and just couldn't have a better friend and a smart person. If you need, I've always said about Tom Beal that if you're working on a problem and you think you've got all the answers and everything figured out, take it to Tom Beal and he'll make it better. He'll come up with a better solution. So he's always been that type of person. So anyway, after Tom Beal joins, about that time, we needed some help in the financial side. Colleen was joining, but we needed an additional person financially, and Tom Beal said, well, how about my friend Tom Moe? So Tom Moe and Tom Beal grew up in Crosby together, and so I flew in, and I think I met Tom Moe at maybe the same hotel there in Minneapolis, because he was working for an accounting firm in Minneapolis, and so he joined the company. So between Tom, Steve, and Colleen, and myself, and now we have some young executives that are our junior management executives. That's who Touchmark is. And so this gift is really because of Touchmark and all the wonderful people that have helped bring this organization together, not just in the team members, but also all of the residents we've had over the years and all the family members. And so I want to thank Touchmark and for just always being there. We have approximately 3,000 employees now. We have a project in Bismarck. We have a project in Fargo, one in Sioux Falls. And so as we were bringing this idea forth of possibly naming a building here, then I had had several meetings with Kim Woods over the years, and I don't see Kim right now. Where is she? She's back there. Okay, hi, Kim. And so she would come out to visit me, and so you really have to recognize this lady. She is the all-star of persistence. So another lady who is equally as persistent and has always shown up for events there in Portland is Deanna Carlson. So give her a big round of applause too. And so if you give a few dollars, you know what happens when it comes to development people. They say, well, gosh, could you inch that up a little bit more next time? And never in my wildest dreams could they ever inch us up to these numbers, but they did it. And so as we were progressing through bringing this project together, then the idea hit us that, wait a second, we are willing to step forward and do something in a major way if only we could get the state of North Dakota to do some matching dollars. And so with some real quick footwork on the part of Deanna and Amy Henley, they were able to make the presentation to the state legislature, as Mark mentioned earlier, and the state legislature then pressed on to provide a matching gift. So thank you very much, Mark, and the state of North Dakota for doing what you did as well. Then there was another step in this process in that after the state had committed the dollars, of course, we wanted to remain anonymous until that time came together. And then also, though, we wanted to remain anonymous because maybe the State Board of Education would not be willing to go along with the name. And we sensed that they would, but we heard just last week that the State Board voted unanimously to name the school the Nistler College, and so we're very grateful to the State Board of Education as well. So thank you. So for the students who are in this audience, you couldn't get a better university in which to start your career. We all know we've had different trials and tribulations in our lives. We oftentimes haven't had a nickel to rub together, 2 nickels to rub together, and somehow, some way, through a lot of hard work and persistence and begging, borrowing, anything we could do to get enough dollars to pay the tuition and even find clothes. And so we know how hard it is to get a great education. Many of you have had to put your way through school, and I really applaud you for that, because that's how I went through school. That's how Steve and we have 9 siblings, or 9 brothers and sisters who attended this university. And so to you students who have graduated or are here at the school, you couldn't be at a better school. I do know that as I look at resumes that come across, and yes, I see whether or not they're CPAs or not, but as I look at resumes, I think, where are they from? What kind of background do they have? Do they really know? Do they really have the stamina, the determination, and what is their background? And so I'll start out an interview with people and say, okay, tell me a bit about your background. Take me back to the very first job that you had. I want to know if a person knew how to mow lawns. I want to know if a person knew how to deliver papers. I want to know all of these things about this person from a growing up type environment, because I know from that growing up type background, I'll know what kind of a person they are. So when times do get tough, or we need them to work hours and hours to get a job done, I know they're with you all the time. And so, as I say, students, you have a great university. I know that you go out there and do great things for people. I was in your position 50-some years ago, and here I am today. I'm hoping that some of you in this audience today are going to step forth with doing big things into the future. But remember, it takes a team. Assemble a group of people and go after it, and whatever you do it well. I always say I walked this way but once, and I'm very thankful for Touchmark. I'm very thankful for the university, and I think also about my parents. Of course, raising 10 kids out there on the farm, and this farmhouse is maybe a total of maybe stretching it at 1,500 square feet. 750 feet on one level, 750 feet on the other level, and so 12 of us growing up there in that farmhouse. And I think about how they went through drought, they went through grasshoppers, they went through tornadoes. We did have a little area down in the root cellar that as soon as the weather started to look in any type of a way being dangerous, my mother would get us all down there. Everybody had their rosary, and we'd say the rosary in the potato cellar. But that's just what you go through when you live in the farm. So I really want to thank them, who are, of course, have passed away at this time. Thank them for all the work they went through to bring all of us 10 kids together. I'm not telling any of you much about that because I know you have great parents and people who do those same levels of sacrifice. And lastly, I like to thank God, because without God and the spiritual guidance that I've been inspired by over all these years, and I know the same thing with Colleen, I know the same with many of the rest of you, Christianity has played a real key role in my life. And so when times get tough, get down on your knees and say a prayer or two, and reach out to a friend, because that person is there either to help you or you to help them. And so I guess my last hope for all of us and all of you is that you just live a life full of fun and reach out to others to help them along. Because as I say, we walk this way but once. I want to walk it the very best way I possibly can, and I hope that you take what is here and pay it forward. Do what you can to help society. We're struggling with a lot of issues in the world today, whether it be the crime, whether it be the political chaos, but we can go through all of that and really make a difference in the world. So UND, all the students here, all the faculty, all the wonderful leaders, let's get on with it. Thank you.
Wow, what are we going to do for homecoming next year? As we close our program today, there's a few individuals I'd like to recognize. I appreciate Werner's comment about team. First, I know that we have many current and former advisory council members here. If you have been on the CoBPA Advisory Council, could you please stand? Thank you for your commitment and dedication to the Nistler College. Second, Dean Emeritus Denny Elbert. Where are you? Denny led our college for 17 years, and I know that we would not be here today without your leadership and the students you have impacted. Faculty of the Nistler College, could you stand? And we have 5 exceptional department chairs, 2 associate deans, and an assistant dean who lead this college on a daily basis. Could you please stand? I know staff across campus work very hard, but I'll put our Nistler College staff up against anyone. Can you recognize our staff? You stand, please. Planning for today's event has truly been a team effort, and no individuals have worked harder on this event today in every single detail that you have seen than Brooke Conlon, Nikki Dvorak, Sarah Prout, Milo Smith, and Laura Arneson. Thank you. Kate Campbell, our chair of the Department of Accountancy, the exceptional work you have done with our accounting students and alumni such as Werner truly embody the spirit of our Nistler College. Thank you. Okay, and I promise this is last, and I'll try to make through this one without crying. If there is one person who is responsible for today, other than, of course, Werner and Colleen, it is Kim Woods. No individual has worked harder or believed in this project more than Kim. Kim says that work is easy when you enjoy what you do every day. And Kim, no one makes our work more enjoyable than you do. The work you have done for the last decade plus will impact countless students for generations to come. And someday, when your grandchildren walk through the doors of Nistler College, they can say, "My Grandma Kim made this happen." Okay. Werner and Colleen, today marks the start of a new era for education at the University of North Dakota. We could not be more honored to have you here today and start the transformational journey of the Nistler College of Business and Public Administration. We have a small token of appreciation. It's not nearly enough for the lives you're impacting, but we want to signify the 2019 creation of the Nistler College. Thank you to Provost DiLorenzo, to Deanna Carlson Zink, who have supported this effort and will continue to. We welcome you all to join us now for a social to celebrate this historic day for the Nistler College. Thank you for coming.